gonna try something new for the channel today. Try it. I'm calling this the drive to work. Takes me about 30 minutes or so to drive to work. Maybe a little bit longer today. I know you can't tell, I don't have a forward-facing camera. You may see it blowing by in the windows on the Tahoe here, but we got a crap load of snow over this weekend. It's Wednesday, January 17th, about 7 in the morning, starting to drive to work. And I figured I'd just use this as a chance to rant and ramble and see if anybody out there kind of felt the way I did. I know I've got about, I don't know, 4 subscribers to this channel, so it's not like I'm going to get a whole lot of response out of this. Oh, they ain't plowed that road yet. We'll take the interstate. Okay. So, I guess we'll start today talking about some stuff that happened in personal life in the last couple of days, how they kind of pertain to the life of somebody trying to live by the warrior lifestyle. Well, hell, I guess I could do an introduction, this being the first video that's actually on the channel with me in it. And I'm a Marine veteran. I'm a fucking pogue. I worked on aircraft for 5 years, airframer for the F-18 system. And to be honest with you, when I was in the Corps, I didn't do much with the warrior stuff. I didn't really have my shit together as far as that went. I made corporal, was an NCO, did all my MCIs, all that crap. I did all the stuff a good Marine's supposed to do. You know, had good PFTs and all that, but I was a mechanic, and I didn't really start to understand how much some of the warrior lifestyle would mean to me until I was much older in life. 31 now, and honestly in better shape now than I ever was when I was in the Corps as far as physical strength. I ran all the time in the Corps. I could run better back then than I can now. I weighed a little less back then than I do now, but I'm a lot stronger now than I was back then, and I'm almost as good a runner. Not quite. I can still do my 3 miles in under 25 minutes or so, but not as good as I was. But as I got out and I went to college and I started realizing how different civilian life was versus how different military life was in comparison to it, I started to realize that I was a lot different than the people around me, the people I went to school with. Even the friends I had when I was in high school. I moved back home after the Corps, and I still have a lot of those same longtime friends, and how different I am from before I left and how different I am from them. A lot of them don't really have that mentality of carry a gun all the time, be ready for what's up there, for out there, and you know, I have a drive to be the most dangerous man in the room, in any room I go to. I know there's a lot of rooms I go to that I am not. I have no delusions of grandeur as to being some kind of ultimate warrior or, you know, the best in the world type of thing. But I do feel that I am a member of gun culture and a member of the training community, and a member of a few people, hell, I don't know any, I know of a couple that actually train and practice with the firearms that they carry. And I feel like in 99% of the situations I would probably get into, I got it covered. There's always those few where you get ambushed or whatever, and ain't shit you can do about it. That's something you just can't do anything about. If fate drops that on your head, then hopefully you studied your situational awareness enough and you see it coming and you can stop it. And if you didn't, then it was your time. But anyway, back to talking about who I am as a person a little bit, so that any of you guys watching out there who give a shit can kind of get to know me some. When I got out of the Corps in 2010, after a 5-year stint, I went to college. I'm a UK graduate, and I studied mechanical engineering. Graduated fine. You know, I wasn't magna cum laude or anything. Laude, how the hell you say it. But I had good grades all the way through. Didn't have to retake any classes, any of that shit. Graduated in standard 4 years. And got my job at a local engineering firm, consulting firm. Working, doing stuff in chemical plants, and got certified as a pressure vessel inspector as well. So I go crawling around inside of great big steel tanks and chemical reactors and chemical plants and figure out what's going on with them, run calculations on them, see how much longer they last, use ultrasonic equipment to look for thinning areas, that kind of stuff. It's a good gig, helps keep my mind sharp, keep my eyes sharp, looking for stuff, being an inspector, that kind of thing. And it affords me, I'm trying to cut that out. But anyway, it affords me the lifestyle to be able to do certain things, for training, and afford some decent weapons and some decent kit. It's not all top of the line. I don't have $20,000 worth of stuff or any ridiculous thing like that. But I do carry a Glock. I do own an AR. It works. It has a good sights on it. It's got an EOTech. I know there's some stuff in the community or culture going around right now about how EOTech had 0 drifts with extreme weather changes. I know it exists. It has not been an issue with my rifle. I don't travel the world to fight bad guys, so I don't zero in a 110 degree desert and then go fight where it's below freezing. If it's below freezing in my climate, it's below freezing pretty much everywhere here in the state. So that's a little bit about me. An engineer, warrior mindset, military veteran, once a Marine, always Marine. You can't get it out of us. So keep my hair short still, try to keep myself in good shape. They kind of beat that into us. Can't help it. So talk about some of the stuff I train in and why I do it. The 3 big areas that I train in and keep myself prepared in are physical fitness, close quarters fighting, and martial weapon handling. Physical fitness, that one's pretty cut and dry. Strong people are harder to fucking kill. If you're stronger, it doesn't take you as much effort to do the same thing as it takes somebody who was weaker. And if you are in a physical altercation with somebody and you're stronger than them, it is an advantage. There are a lot of people out there who want to think that because guns and knives and weapons exist, that strength and hand-to-hand combat don't really matter anymore, and they're full of it. Not every situation can you draw down on somebody and blast them, but that doesn't mean that you can't defend yourself and stop from getting your fucking ass beat. So you use strength for all of that. I work with Starting Strength. I bought Mark Riccato's book. It's a good book. It teaches you the form and gives you a basic starting workout. I started working out several years ago and I didn't really know what I was doing. I winged it. I read up on diet and some exercise stuff, articles in Men's Health, that kind of stuff. Got some basic workout techniques, and I found some really cool stuff that's not Starting Strength. I still work out with a mace. I love my mace workouts. It's good on your shoulders. It's a cool weapon-based workout. If I had to, I could pick up a mace and at least swing it around. I don't know if I could fight with it, but I could look really cool swinging it around. But that gives you some flexural strength and flexibility and stuff on top of your strength training that you get with Olympic barbell style training for starting strength. Going through this light, excuse me. Alright, we made it. So, it's a 3-day-a-week thing. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Put my ass in the gym. Takes about an hour, and I strength train. Then on those same 3 days, plus one Tuesday or Thursday, which, yes, if you're counting, that's 4 to 5 days a week that I go to the gym after work. 3 days a week strength, and then I am a member of the Bushido Fight School, and we train mixed martial arts and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Mondays and Wednesdays are mixed martial arts, striking, ground fighting, and we actually spar. We get in the ring with gloves on and hit each other. And it turns out that one of the best ways to be able to not get your ass kicked in a fight is to join a gym with other people who are interested in fighting, learning proper technique, and getting your ass kicked by people who aren't actually going to hurt you too bad. Bushido's a great school, small school. There's 10 of us usually at the most. All age ranges. Some of the guys are older than me. Some of them are kids, 16 years old. Something else too, don't let that fool you. A 16-year-old will hit you like a man, especially a trained 16-year-old. There's a lot of times I get on the ground grappling, doing jiu-jitsu with, 16, 17-year-old kids. And I say kids, these guys are stout and trained, and they will beat you. Age, being grown up doesn't give you some kind of mythical advantage in a fight. Teenagers, especially in the late teen years, are starting to come into, or already in, some of the prime of their life. They will be at some peak physical strengths and fitnesses and have a lot of testosterone and advantage that some of us older guys won't have. So, anyway, train MMA, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I started that again in the Corps. I started with the Marine Corps Martial Arts program, got up to a green belt, which is as high as they let you go as a non-NCO. And the unit I was in when I picked up corporal wasn't really big on martial arts training or really any of the fighter warrior training that some of the Marines do. Some units just don't really, especially poke units, don't really care about it. For all of my boys out there who weren't in the infantry, I am not trying to talk shit about us. I don't consider pogue to be a derogatory term or something like some people do. It just means you weren't a grunt, and it covers pretty much everybody that didn't carry a rifle and shoot bad guys in the face every day. So, I mean, nothing derogatory about the term. Hell, I am one. But anyway, I got my green belt in the Corps. I got out, and I didn't touch it for the entire time I was in college. Honestly, in college, I was a fat body. I put on a bunch of weight. Got up to almost 250 pounds. Didn't really care. Ate a lot of cheeseburgers, drank a lot of beer, lived the college life, so to speak. And it was horrible for me. I wish I'd never done it. Still rebuilding some of it. Getting my body back down to where it should be. I'm not a fat body anymore, but I could still be better. And that's part of where the fight training is coming in. It's a lot of cardio work. It helps keep your body in good shape. And that's a 2-hour class, 3 to 4 times a week. So there's a lot of physical exertion. A lot of times I fight and spar until I literally have to stop and go throw up, pushing myself, doing it just as hard as I can physically for myself, not hitting people as hard as I can. Anybody that doesn't know, when you spar with your training partners at your school, it's not a fight. You're not out there going and hitting 100, 110%, giving everything you've got, trying to win a fight. There is no winners or losers in training. There's just learning. Now, that's not to say that sometimes you don't obviously get beat and somebody else obviously be the better fighter. Especially people that have been training for years and you've been training for 6 months or a year, you first start. You're going to get hit a lot, and you're not going to hit the other guy very much at all. You'll start to learn some defense. You'll start to learn to slip and see a punch coming and get your head out of the way. Not duck 6 miles and run, but just barely, move over so they miss it and be able to counter punch and counter throw, see things coming. And that just takes time. It's not something you can pick up in a class or two. It's not something you'll get good at in a month or two. It takes a lot of time to build that skill because it doesn't really get built anywhere else in the world. Any other type of training that you do, none of it's going to teach you to read a body, see a punch coming, and get your face out of the way. Except going and let people throw punches at your face. So, but that's the striking side. We do Gracie style Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm just a white belt. I finally did earn my first stripe. Pretty proud of that. I'm getting better. I know how to keep myself from getting into a lot of the common moves that untrained people use, and some basic good defenses that work from even some trained guys. Yeah, I still get tapped out. Everybody gets tapped out. Hell, I tap some guys out. I'm just a white belt. But I'm better than I was yesterday. And that's really where it's at. You got to compare you to where you were yesterday. Are you a better fighter, a better warrior today than you were yesterday? Do you understand your mindset? Are you ready to go fight more today than you were yesterday? And that's, if you just make a step every day of your life, you make a step forward, and you're better than you were yesterday. Eventually, you stop caring where you line up with other people. There's always going to be somebody better at some skill than you are. But just know that you take all the skills and you put them all together and you make a warrior. Some people may be better with the martial gun handling and not really care about close quarters hand-to-hand fighting or knife fighting or physical fitness. There are some guys out there who are bigger, heavy-set guys who can outshoot most everybody in the world. That doesn't make them a better warrior than you. So stop comparing yourself to these TV star type people that are some of the best people in the world in their one particular field, and know that their field is too narrow. Being a warrior is a broad field. So, anyway, strength training, fight training or close quarters, and then martial gun handling. Anybody that doesn't know what I mean by martial gun handling, I am talking about fighting with a weapon, fighting with firearms. Let's be clear, firearms are weapons. Yes, there are a lot of sports out there that involve firearms. There are a lot of target practice and, lack of a better term, games that people play that involve firearms. There's even shooting in the Olympic Games, sport shooting. These guys are incredibly skilled athletes that do some incredible things with firearms. But that's not warrior. That's not fighting. To borrow a phrase from an instructor who I respect highly, root word of gunfight is not gun, is fight. If you don't know where that's from James Yeager. And teaches people how to fight with a gun. Teaches mindset, which is one of the hardest things to find in this world. Anyway, so we're here to learn to fight with our firearms. And that means that you have to look at every firearm that you plan to use in a fight as a weapon. And that's all there is to it. Is this the weapon I want to fight with? And if it's not, then find the one that is. I know I get called a fanboy a lot. I own a lot of pistols, but my favorite is a Glock for a fighting weapon. There's a lot of guys with some cool 1911s out there. I've seen them. They look cool. They're cool race guns. They're cool for sport. I don't want to try and fight with one. I know 2 world wars and knockdown power. I just don't care. 7 to 8 rounds is not enough to carry and expect to win a fight. It's just not. So, you need to be ready for multiple assailants. You need to pay attention to your surroundings. And you need to have a gun that works when you pull the trigger, that has a high enough capacity to be able to take on multiple people in a combat situation. Because when you start fighting and adrenaline starts pumping and your fine motor skills go to shit, and you're all jacked up on Mountain Dew, so to speak, you're gonna maybe throw a shot or 2 wide. Maybe squeeze the trigger a little earlier than you meant to. Every round counts. Know your target, what's beyond it. Don't shoot anybody that doesn't need shot. But you might make an arm hit. You might shoot somebody in the thigh. You might be running as fast as you can, trying to maintain your composure in a gunfight, and put a round in the wall next to the guy. If you've got 17 rounds in your gun, or 15 rounds in your gun if you're a 19 guy and like a compact instead of full size, then you've got enough to take care of that guy and still have enough ammo for another guy next to him, and maybe even another guy next to him. So Glocks are reliable, they're lightweight, they're easy to care for, and they fucking work. So that's what I use as a weapon. As a fighting weapon that I carry every day. Carry a Glock 34, as a matter of fact. I like the big son of a bitch. I made a few changes to it. I got rid of the extended slide stop. Notice I didn't say slide release. It's not a friggin' release, it's a slide stop. It's for locking the slide to the rear. When you change magazines, slingshot or rack that son of a bitch instead of trying to push a tiny button. Again, that's martial weapon handling. Looking for every step that you do being, how am I going to fight with this gun? Sorry, that did. How do I plan to fight with this firearm? Handguns, as far as terminal ballistic performance, suck. They're not super heavy rounds that aren't moving super fast. You really got to put a bullet in something important to get somebody to stop, guaranteed stop doing what they're doing that you don't like. That's all there is to it. Handgun bullets need to be hollow points. They need to expand and get as big as possible. 9mm gets just as big as 45 does now. Because it has more velocity, it can expand more. Modern terminal ballistics, modern bullet design has taken that away. that advantage away from 45. 9mm gets just as big. And there is no such thing as stopping power or knockdown power. They are frickin' miss. They're bullshit. Phone's vibrating a little bit, touching the truck. See if that's better. Nope. Move it a little bit more. No, that's even worse. There. Whatever. Camera's mounted in the truck, so if you get a little bit of vibration, I'm sorry. I don't think it's too bad, though. Hopefully the sound's not bad. I'll listen to this before I post it up. This is my first one of doing these, so if you guys got any comments or suggestions, anything you see that you want done different, let me know. Anyway, coming up to my exit, so I got a little bit more time. Back into martial weapon handling. Remember that this thing is not a piece of art. It's a tool. Its job is to fight, to defend your life, to put holes in bad guys. So you want to be able to put as many holes as quickly as possible. Hopefully without getting any holes in yourself. It's one of the favorite things I've said. I probably picked it up from somebody, but if I did and it's yours, take all credit. I don't know where it came from. But in a gunfight, there's two things that you're trying to do. One is put holes in the bad guy, and two is not get holes put in yourself. And of the two, guess which one's most important? It's not getting fucking holes put in yourself. So you're going to move and use cover and shoot with extreme prejudice to put the fucking guy down as fast as possible. The whole goal is to survive, not die. Let's see. Anyway, you train for this martial weapon handling. I set a goal for myself to do 10,000 dry fire or dry practice draws this year. Ran some quick math. I get really close if I draw my gun 35 times every morning. So I set my alarm 30 minutes earlier. I get up 5:30 in the morning now. Get up, take a shower, pack my lunch, get everything ready. I just took the wrong exit. Son of a crap. Alright, whatever. I have to flip around. I just rebuilt the road out here and redid the exits, and I hit the wrong one. Anyway, 35 times a morning, I get up, draw my gun, take a shower, pack my lunch, get dressed, put my gun on. Have a gun room in my house where I do my reloading and my dry fire training, and where I keep all my stuff locked and secured. And got an old set of body armor in there on an armor stand, and that's what I use to dry fire at. So if there is some kind of, well, let's just call it negligent discharges. If I screw up and I put a round downrange inside my home, it's aimed at body armor and hopefully doesn't go through it and hurt anybody. So 35 times isn't that much. You can do it in 15-20 minutes every morning. And you really, if you pay attention to what you're doing, you do it slow and you build skill. It's not a race. You're not out there trying to draw the gun just as fast as possible. You know, these are skill building exercises. You do the same thing over and over and over and over. You build up enough repetitions that you can start to do it without thinking about it. And that's what you need. You need to be able to do this skill properly without applying cognitive thought. It needs to just happen. You need to think, fuck, there's a bad guy. I need to take this gun from this holster and shoot that bad guy. And by the time you finish thinking that you need to do it, your body needs to already be going because it knows how to do it. And that comes from repetitions, thousands and thousands and thousands of repetitions. So, and you do it slow, and you do it correctly, and you build that motion into it. And that's martial gun handling, you know, learning the skills and mastering the skills through practice to be able to defend yourself with the weapons that you carry in a fight. So that's the other area. As far as goals for training this year, I got my first hands-on class of tactical response. I'll be down there March 12th and 13th, fighting pistol. If anybody wants to train with me, that's where I'll be. At Camden, you know, original tactical response. I'm also trying to save up and do either the fight or advanced fighting pistol this year. I'll probably do advanced fighting pistol. Keep working on those skills. Put those two in the same year. Practice time in between. Do advanced fighting pistol at the end of the year, so I have time to practice all the skills that I taught in fighting pistol and get a level of competency of them. I'm going to say mastery. There's no way I'm going to learn all those skills and master them taking the class one time. But I go through both of those, apply that, get competency in those skills, and put enough dry practice down in the next year to maybe get mastery on some stuff. Other skills, I've got weightlifting skills, I've got weight loss goals. It's a big thing too, is goals for warriors. You can't just say, I want to be a better shooter. What the fuck does that mean? Everybody wants to be a better shooter. Well, everybody that shoots wants to be a better shooter. You need to set a realistic goal and work to achieve your goal. Goals don't smash themselves. You got to put the work in. My goal is to go to fighting pistol and advanced fighting pistol and gain competency in all the skills taught there through practice and repetition over the next year. My goal for my fighting is to move from white belt to blue belt this year and get to where I feel confident enough in my MMA and striking to have my first amateur fight maybe this year. That's a goal that I have. I would like to actually go put myself in the ring and feel as close as I feel you can get as a civilian to real combat. Get in a ring with somebody who intends to do you harm and use your skills to intend to do them harm. Fucking modern gladiators. It doesn't, short of being a cop that actually goes and defends other people with a gun, or joining the military in a ground and pound fighter sense, or even, a fighter pilot in a dogfight, those kind of jobs, this is as close as you get to real combat. It's a great way to train for, I think. So that's my goal on that side this year. Physical fitness goals. I want to drop another 20 pounds and get down to 175 pounds. I feel like that's a good weight for me. I'm on my way. Talked about it a little bit earlier while I was in college. I got up to almost 250. I'm down to about 195 now. It's a rounded number. It's 195 point change. I think it's 0.6 this morning. I'd have to look up. I use MyFitnessPal to track my weight and track what I eat. Track my macronutrients, make sure I get enough protein, enough fat, not too many carbohydrates, take care of myself. I want to get down to 175, I don't want to have my first fight. If anybody strength-wise, bench press is at 200. The goal for the year is to get to 250 by the end of the year. Squat started the year at 315. I want to try and get to 500 this year. I don't know. I feel like that's a pretty lofty goal. 500 is a lot of weight. I'm up to 335 already in January. And I still got some time. But I feel like I'm eventually going to hit a wall there. But fuck it. My goal is 500 pounds. And I'm going to go. I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to see if I can't get that. Squat is at 270 or 275. My book's back there. I write all this stuff down. I'm going from memory off this. I think it's 275. Goal is to get to 350 this year. Started the year at 255. Got up 275 already in January. And guess what? That's heavy. You know, every time you go and pick this shit up, it's heavy. It's supposed to be heavy. It's never gonna get light. If it gets light, you're not working hard enough to get stronger. You gotta lift heavy things to get stronger. So, sorry, thing on my lip. Anyway, last one that I'm doing, I haven't gotten to second stage of starting strength yet. I've still been making linear gains on all these. Which linear gains means every time you go, you add 5 pounds to that exercise until you can't add 5 pounds and complete it anymore. I'm starting to get really close to losing linear gains on my bench. It's all I can do to do my 200 pounds right now. Today I've got to try 205. I'm going to smash it. I'm going to do it. Positive mental mindset's the most important thing. I am going to do it, but it's going to be heavy. Shoulder press is the last one, by the way. I'm at 160, I think, on shoulder press. I'd like to get to 200 this year. That's my goal. So, those are all the goals for the year. I'm almost to work. Start wrapping this thing up. I've been talking for, it's going to be a 45-minute first video. Hope you guys like to listen to people ramble for 45 minutes. Otherwise, I'm probably screwed on my YouTube channel. This hasn't really even been funny, I don't think. Sometimes I get told I'm funny. Today's just been a lot of warrior talk. But, you know, they say the introductions are some of the most boring parts. You gotta learn who you're talking to. Learn some backstory on some people to understand where they're coming from, to understand their mindset and what they plan to achieve and what they're trying to pass on. Alright, you're going to notice a small break in the video. I hit maximum file size, so I'm going to have to edit these two together. But it's just a conclusion anyway, so it's not that big a deal. What I'm trying to pass on is just some mindset, some mentality. I'll do a lot of after-action reports on training, pass on what I learned. Some things I've developed myself based on what I've learned from others, what works for me. Some reviews of some different stuff. Got the Facebook page. For anybody that doesn't know, it's the same as the YouTube, Demosthenes, Bringer of Freedom, on Facebook. Anybody that doesn't know what that means, it's Demosthenes. He was a Greek philosopher, talked about a lot of cool stuff. Go look him up. And he's referenced in a lot of pop culture. The most recent one I can think of would be, what was it? The Ender Saga, Ender's Game. It's on the Commandant's reading list. There's a lot of good books on there. But anyway, it's a guy who had some really good ideas, some really good stuff about freedom and democracy and that kind of stuff. Give him a look. But meant something to me, so I borrowed the name for the channel. Find something original that nobody else is using anymore is kind of difficult. So Anyway, I'm passing stuff along. Hope you guys learn from it, enjoy it. This is who I am. This is what we're gonna do on this channel. Hopefully we'll slowly grow, and I'll find some people who are like-minded and want to talk about the kind of stuff I want to talk about, and want to do the kind of stuff I want to do, and want to learn the kind of stuff I want to learn, and I can share that with you. So you guys have a good day.